Hey y'all, this is Shane Youngerman here, and I want to say thank you for joining me on my presentation on how to lose weight and get stronger in the next 90 days without having to sacrifice your favorite foods, going on crazy fad diets, or having to do endless cardio. Now, to start this off, I want to introduce you to the legendary lifestyle system. I've created this system so that way you can lose weight and get stronger without having to give up all of your favorite foods, favorite drinks, or even your favorite hobbies or pastimes. When you think about living like a legend, think about all of the legends that you know. It could be Michael Jordan, Brad Pitt, Spartacus, whoever it may be. You look at all of them and you think, man, they take care of their bodies and they're in shape. But also they get to enjoy themselves. They all get to party, be social, have their friends, eat out. So that's all about what this system is building your lifestyle so you can live like those legends. So going through this presentation, you're going to discover a couple things. First things first, you're going to discover 5 simple shifts that you need to make in order to lose that fat, build that strength, and do it in a much easier fashion than most people think. The second thing we're going to cover is how to build your body and your identity. So that way you feel so much better about yourself both internally and externally when you look in the mirror. The third thing we're going to go over is busting the metabolism myth and why doing all of this endless cardio is not the smartest way to burn extra calories. Lastly, we're going to cover the one biggest mistake that people make that prevents 70% of people from losing weight and keeping it off long term. And we're going to do all of this within the context of not having to sacrifice your weekend with the boys. Like my client Mario, who works at a Fortune 500 company in the IT world. He's a project manager. He's worked his way up the ladder and been super successful within his career. However, after working at a desk job for a while, like most of us have experienced, you sit there for an extended period of time. You get snacks, sometimes you even get fed meals, and it ends up leading you to potentially the worst shape of your life. Now, fortunately, after working through the legendary lifestyle system, Mario lost that fat, built that strength, and feels so much better about himself, both internally and externally. Shoot, I mean, he's even sending me over here in a text talking about not worrying about filling up his stomach, but filling up his arms on his shirts now. So, what do I need from you as I go throughout this presentation and really look at potentially impacting your life? Well, the biggest thing that I need you to take away is these lessons and implement them. See, knowledge is not power. Knowledge is only potential power. It can actually be your mortal enemy if you don't use it and implement it. So, a couple things on the reality for most people, what I would like to call your old reality. So the CDC's reported that almost half of the people in the US are overweight. In fact, 42.4% of adults were rated as obese back in 2018. And at seeing the chart in the way that it's rising, 50% is an easy estimate for us to make nowadays in 2022, especially post-COVID, as we see those rates continue to rise on the chart. And it's not just the issue of getting to that point, it's even an issue on the back end. The International Association for the Study of Obesity has mentioned that the rule of thumb is generally you're going to put the weight back on after you lose it. In fact, 2/3 of people actually are going to put back on the weight that they lost within their first year of losing that weight. And generally, the majority of people are putting it all back on within 5 years from that point. So how do we prevent that? The truth is, it's not hard to lose weight and get stronger once you have a system put in place, so that way healthy living is just an easy part of your lifestyle. The second thing to keep in mind is that giving up your favorite foods like pizza, beer, or whatever they may be is actually going to make it harder for you to lose weight in the long term. And the last thing to keep in mind is you are not limited by your genetics. Yes, there are all genetic factors and we do acknowledge those. But for the most part, the bigger impact that you can make is through your lifestyle choices. So you can't blame it on your genetics. But if you can build a lifestyle and environment that leads to results that make it easier for you to be more confident every time you look in the mirror, and you develop the consistency and the discipline so you become the type of person who achieves your goals, not only in your fitness but in your life, then at the end of the day, getting and staying in shape becomes a whole lot easier. So let's dig into the legendary lifestyle system. The 5 shifts that you need to make are below. First, awareness is your compass. Second, starvation is a miserable road to failure. Third, muscle growth is key for your personal development. Fourth, D plus C plus L equals success. And then key number 5 is meta your metabolism. So the first shift that you have to make is understanding awareness is your compass. You might have a story or an idea of your workouts, of your nutrition, of your health overall, but until you really take inventory and become fully aware, you don't really know if you're headed north or south. You know, I run into clients all the time where they're like, oh, my diet's pretty good. And then we work on understanding what their diet really looks like, and it looks pretty horrible as far as how many calories they're eating. Or on the opposite end, I have people that'll say, I don't eat that good, and we'll end up actually getting them to a point where they might need to even eat more in order for them to get the right sort of results and build the body that they want to. But you don't really know that until you become fully aware of the reality of your current situation. Step number 2 is understanding that starvation is a road to failure. See, what if I told you that you could lose that weight that you wanted to, but it came at the cost of giving up all your favorite foods? You'd probably respond and be like, F that, I'm not doing it. So then why do people engage in doing diets that they know they can't keep up for long term? You can do that diet short term, but if you have those cravings, if you want to go back to eating a certain way and a certain lifestyle, then you're just going to go back to where you were before when you limit yourself that hard. Shift number 3 is understanding that muscle growth is part of your personal growth. See, you can go to the gym and go through the motions, lift a couple weights, go in, go out, get a little sweat. But if you really hone in and go through the process, you can use the gym as a tool to not only build your physical strength, but build your mental strength, build your willpower, your resilience, and your confidence. The 4th shift is learning the equation. D plus C plus L equals success. See, understanding discipline, consistency, and always learning will always get you to where you want to be long term. If you stay disciplined in your own standards and staying set to those, if you stay consistent in doing those things each and every day, and if you learn when you do make those mistakes, success is guaranteed. Shift number 5 is your metabolism. See, we all have a resting metabolic rate that essentially is our metabolism and how fast that we burn calories passively on a day. But understanding we can change our resting metabolic rate with certain factors, such as your nutrition, your diet, your exercise, your sleep, your stress, they all play a large role. So instead of focusing on burning calories the hard way, which is actively doing cardio over and over and over again, the smart thing to do is ramp up your metabolism and burn those calories the easy way in a passive manner. Because I don't know about you, but I don't want to be running on the treadmill for hours. I'd rather be burning calories while I'm sitting on the couch. So if you can follow these 5 shifts, understanding awareness is your compass, starvation will lead you to a miserable road to failure. That muscle growth can be a part of personal growth. If you add D, C, and L, you're going to get success. And you meta your metabolism, then you can build a lifestyle and environment that leads to you getting the results so you feel more confident every time you look in the mirror. You can develop that mental strength and discipline. So that way you're the type of person who achieves your goals, not only in your fitness, but in life. And essentially at the end of the day, burn that extra weight, get stronger, and all without having to sacrifice your social events or your favorite foods. And end up going from overweight, out of shape, unhappy, not confident in yourself, not having the success in all the areas of life you want to have, to moving yourself to a new future where you conquer all those barriers, where you break through that weight that you used to be at, where you break through your shell of the person you used to be. You lose that weight, you get stronger physically, mentally, and you live a lifestyle that's so much more true to you, your purpose, and your max. So imagine if you could build a lifestyle and an environment so you get those results that make you feel confident both internally and externally when you look in the mirror every day. Imagine you could develop your mental strength and your discipline so that way you become the type of person who achieves all of your goals, not just your fitness goals. Imagine if you could be that person who lost that extra weight, got stronger, but you didn't have to sacrifice all of your favorite foods or your favorite pastime hanging out with friends. When we chat, I want you to bring all of those things that you just envisioned. Bring that vision of yourself 6 months from now, a year from now, 5 years from now, and how you're going to look and how you're going to feel after taking charge of not only your fitness, but your life. I'd also like you to bring the biggest key takeaway that you have from this presentation so we could talk a little bit more in depth on how making that sort of shift can affect your life drastically. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch this presentation and invest in yourself. I can't wait to look forward to speaking with you. We'll talk soon.